Right, so this video is going to be a follow-up to the Tamiya TT-02 build video from last week. And basically what this is I did say that in that video that I was going to have a go at hydro dipping for the first time. And this is it. So this is my hydro dipping journey, my first venture into this kind of thing. And I'm very nervous about showing this one off because I know I have got a lot of questions and a lot of comments to face from people who have been doing this thing for years and people who do this as a profession. I do have a lot to learn, and you're about to find out why I have a lot to learn. Now the first bit is me introducing what I was planning on doing, because I've had this stuff lying around on the camera for a while and I don't really want it going to waste. So this first bit is me having got hydro dipping it in the bathroom, which was a mistake. But let's cut to that and see why it was a mistake. Right, so in last week's video I said I was going to be doing a separate video of hydro dipping the body for my Tamiya Toyota GR86, so because it's definitely not the GT86. I sometimes get the two confused. But my GR86 body for my Tamiya TT-02 chassis, instead of painting this, I wanted to have a go at hydro dipping it, because it's not something that's commonly done with RC body shells, and I wanted to document my first attempt at doing this. So I've got the shell here, which I'm going to be hydro dipping. Now, before I actually do that, I've got a cut off from the body. Now I'll be testing it on this first thing before I actually do it on the body, because I just want to see how it looks and if it goes well. The hydrographic film I'm actually going to be using is this one called Blue Galaxy. I'll just unravel it just a little bit so you can get a taste of what it's going to be like. Yeah, so I can't wait to see if this will look well, because I have no idea what the results are probably going to be on it. I've also got this, which is the hydrographic activator spray in a spray can. I'm kind of a little bit unwell because I kind of caught something, just a little bit of a cold, so I'm not quite up to full. So, mask, respirator. I did have one similar to actually. Hang on a minute. Is that while it's up here? I kind of wanted to use this one a little bit. It's full face. There is one we've got somewhere that isn't a full face, but I have no idea where it is. But I think this hopefully should be alright for spraying the activator spray. And also gloves, just because don't really want to get the hydrographics on my hand, just like because I don't know what it's going to be like to wash out. First thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to switch over to the GoPro because it has a much wider view, and go up to my bathroom and just going to test it out in the sink, which probably isn't going to be the most ideal of places, but let's do this. Right, just got to pray that the GoPro doesn't fall into the water. Now, as you can see, yeah, this is my bathroom sink. Not the most ideal for hydro dipping, but since it's only a small piece and just doing it for a test, it should be fine. So basically just using an old digital thermometer just to measure the temperature of the water, because the recommended that I've been told is 28 to 30 degrees Celsius, but when I put my hand in the water it doesn't actually feel anywhere near what it's reading, like 38.9 degrees Celsius, and I swear that's a lot warmer than that. So it does feel moderately warm, so I'm just going to take a gamble and go with how I'm feeling. You probably might just hear the so to start off with, I've got a little cut of the hydrographic film. I'm just going to put I've already sort of wet my fingers, I'm just going to pinch it from the end. So whichever sticks is what needs to go into the water. So, right, here we go. I'm just going to lay it down. Right, kind of stuck to my... Now, one of the things you may notice that I'm not doing with the hydrographic film is putting some tape around it. That I'm not going to do because of some of the tutorials that I found. It's not allowing the film to expand. And if you want any more better of a detailed explanation, please check out All Things Fun Hydrographic Films, because he can give a much more detailed explanation than I can. So I'm going to leave this to sit in the water for a bit, and I'm just going to go get the rest of the bits and pieces to pull this off. For the sheet upside down. Right, so I've had to abandon that piece because I got a bit paranoid and checked over something, but I had to double check something there. So yeah, the side... Right, so I'm going to give a pinch of the water with another piece. Now, okay, so yeah, it's this side, the side that sticks to my finger is the one that needs to go face down into the water, so just lay it down like that. I think that should be alright. So yeah, as you can see, there is no tape on that, and it's edging a bit close to the chain, but actually, looking at it, it doesn't, I'm not noticing any air bubbles or anything. I like to think that I've put it down quite nicely. Just gonna take the part that I'm just gonna test this on. Yeah, I think that, oops, nearly drops a little bit then. So I'm just gonna leave that just for a little bit, just to be safe. And then I'm actually gonna have a go at spraying the activator down. I've got my respirator already, and I've got the window open for ventilation. But I just wanna leave it just for a bit. Right, I think that should be good enough. So what I'm just going to do is spray this down with the activator spray. Not going to go crazy with it. I'm just going to do a nice even coat before I dip the piece of polycarbonate on. So, here we go. Okay, so I guess that didn't go too well. Right, so I said I was going to do this in the bathroom sink, but that I won't be doing. I've decided to save that for a another video. So what I've done is, I don't know if it's somewhere in my pocket, to measure the temperature I did use a old digital thermometer that we had kicking about, but the trouble with this, it's not giving accurate readings. I dip it in the water, for example, it starts with L, then it was 31 degrees at some point, but then for some reason it just keeps climbing up and going to H rather than giving accurate readings. So it's moderately warm, so I'm just going to go with my gut instinct, and first thing I need to do is just going to pinch the water, and whichever side sticks to my finger and which one doesn't, let's say, okay. Right, so the side that's stuck to my finger is what is going to go face down into the water, kind of curling up a little bit, but it's only for a small piece, so it's not that big of a deal. Right, so okay, it's laying down quite nicely actually. So what I'm just going to do is just leave that for a bit, just to be safe, and come back to it probably in a couple of minutes. Right, I think that should be good. So what I'm just going to do, I've got my gloves on and got the activator spray, so going to give that a shake up. Got the sample piece right here just to test it out on. I'm going to pop my mask down, and here we go. Right, that is weird because it did say 20 to 30 metres and that was definitely well above 30 centimetres. Okay, well the sheet is well over there. They do say third time's a charm, so I'm only going to spray a tiny little bit on this time. Here we go. Do I actually... Oh, bollocks. We're starting to fall at that bit. I'm going to just take a bit of a gamble. Actually, I'm going to do it from inside so it replicates it a bit better. Okay, so I kind of think maybe I went in there a little bit too quick, but part of it actually doesn't look that bad. You can see kind of where it went a bit wrong there and there, and I think for a first ever attempt at hydrodipping anything, yeah, you know what, I'll take that. But yeah, so literally my first ever attempt at hydrodipping anything, and it could be better, but as it's my first attempt, I feel a bit proud of that. So there's a couple of things I do want to do on the next sheet, but I'll go through that in the next shot. First thing I need to do, as you can see, the bath does need a good clean, so I'll spray it down with a bit of flash and then refill it with water because I'm just about to have dinner, and by the time I come down to this, the water temperature would have gone down. So I'm going to clean out the bath and cut to when it's filled back up with water again. Alright, now time for the main event, and I think the film might be a little bit too big for this bath, but I'm going to just lay it down very gently. There is a bit of a crease in one of the corners because as I laid the film down, somebody forgot to wipe the kitchen table off. But I'm just going to hold it in like... I did get some air bubbles on that one. Hang on. Alright, well, this is not... Okay, yeah, I cocked up massively there. Okay, so after that absolute travesty, what I ended up doing was I ended up ordering something specially to hydrodipping. I did think about getting a paddling pool, but because of how thick the inflatable barriers were, it just didn't seem practical. I did try thinking about getting one that you build up, but they were quite pricey, and I ended up finding a portable bathtub on eBay, which I will show off in this next part of the video. I ordered some separate film because after what happened with the film, because of a lot of stuff that I had done, and let's just see how I got on then. Okay, so this is what I'm going to be using for the hydrodipping pool. It's basically it's supposed to be a portable bathtub, but I'm not quite sure how that would be like to actually sit in. I'll probably have to give it a try when I've emptied the water out. So before I actually Hydrodip the Tamiya bodyshell. I'm just going to test it out with a little bit of film. So what I want to do first is pinch the water just a little bit, and whichever side sticks to my finger is the side that needs to be facing down on the water. So actually, I'm just going to flatten it out just a little bit like that. That should do the trick. So just put it in just like that, and very gently. It's a little bit stuck to my finger, but yeah, that looks good. Okay, I think that should do it. Now I have put a mask on because I'll be using this, which is the activator spray. I got it from eBay, but I can't remember the name of the seller. It's actually, there it is, from Hydrographic Warehouse, this film. I can't remember if that's the name of the person who actually sold it, or if I did get it from direct. So I'm going to take it out just a little bit, and nice gentle coat. Right, okay, I'm going to try that again, but I'm just going to spray it on as soon as it's laid down onto the water surface and just see what happens. So very gently. Okay, right. Okay, right, that's actually good. Got the activator sprayed on, and it hasn't spread apart. So I just slipped a glove on. Right, it did kind of bend a little bit, but here we go. So. Right, okay, so that's okay, right, so that was the end result. Not exactly what I thought it was going to be. But now, do I go for it or not? That's the big question. Screw it. Right, here we go. Gently does it, gently does it, gently does it, gently does it. There we go. Shrivel up a little bit. Right, so I've applied the coat. So this is it. The Tamiya TT-02 body shell. Probably pull it out from this angle. I'm nervous. Here we go. Yep, that's done it. No, going back now. What's that? Okay, so in some parts, alright, so it's good on that side, but in other places, not so much. But somehow that was a lot better than I actually thought it was going to be. But what I might do is, I probably should have done it at a greater angle. But let's, I'll probably have to dry this off just for a little bit and try another take. I might have to try another layer on. Try it at this angle and see what happens. So this is it. Yeah, that didn't work. That was a bad decision. Let's see if I can hold it in like this and just see what happens. But here we go. Yeah, got a little bit on my hands there, but I think that's probably as good as I'm gonna get, and there's a lot of film left in the water, so I think I'm gonna have to. I'm probably gonna basically call that it. I've got a little bit. I've ended up using a lot of film for this, and yeah. Now I've got to think about how the hell am I going to dispose this water off. I'm going to take this off because I'm a little bit muffled. But, well, I have to say, personally for me, I think that went better than my first time. The body shell doesn't look particularly bad in some places, but I have got a lot of criticism to face. Hopefully most of it will be constructive, but I've got a lot of learning to do. And that was pretty much my first adventure with hydrodipping. Yeah, I'm going to cut for now. I mean, you can see that I have got a lot to learn, but I know I've already shown this in the previous video, but the end results and what I have ended up with, I'm actually very happy with. Absolutely nothing like how I imagined it would be, but the response, I have posted it in a couple of radio control car club groups that I'm in, and the response has actually been phenomenal. But it's definitely different. It will definitely stand out from the rest. And yep. So that was my hydrodipping journey, doing this for the first time. And yeah, I have got a lot to learn. I think maybe I have seen people successfully dip bodies in from the inside, because the reason why, for those unfamiliar, why I didn't do it on the outside is because it's a typical thing for RC bodies shells to have it painted on the inside to avoid any paints getting chipped away. Because you can probably see about there's a scuff there a little bit on the front because of receiver issues I was having, and had that been painted on the outside, there would have been a lot come off. But I am a little bit terrified, not knowing what people who have been doing this professionally are going to say, but I am going to have to face the music. But thank you for watching this video. Hopefully the next time I do this, once I have gotten the feedback, I might do a comments response depending on what I end up getting. But until next week's video, goodbye for now.